This is The Sports, an open and honest conversation about life and love and everything in between with me, STL Yamumo. Hello and welcome to part 2 of The Sports podcast, where we talk about life and everything in between, and we have open and honest conversation. This is part 2. In case you missed part 1, check it out and then come back and watch part 2. We're having a girl talk with Aisha, Grace, and Eva, all about, pregnancy, parenting, and career as well. Now, in the second part, we talk about life after giving birth. How was it? For example, it's one thing to be pregnant and give birth to a bouncing baby boy, bouncing baby girl, and then life begins. Reality in a hit. What was the biggest change ulipata experience?
Well, let me just tell you, I think my body was the biggest change I think I experienced. Because after giving birth, I thought the stomach automatically goes back to where it is.
You go back to your sexy self.
And then you've added, I had added kilos. Then unatembea unasema, your stomach is just doing, okay, every person is different, but I used to feel, and then now your boobs are very engorged with milk and all that. I remember immediately after I birthed my child, the following day I had so much milk and we didn't know what to do. I remember the pediatrician came to check the baby. Akanifinya. I said, no, you need to remove that milk because I'm elala. And I'm like, how am I supposed to remove this milk? And I was like, can you just call your significant other akubaye breast pump? We had no idea, practically no idea. But before I had my breast pump, I think we tried to squeeze it out. Yeah. My mom was this side, the doctor was this side. We were trying to squeeze it because it was too much. I think that was the first shock I got, that it can be too much. I never thought milk can be too much. Like how it can? Yeah. So that was the first shock I got. Then of course now after I remember I cried to hospital. I cried in the car because I'm like, no, the nurses are not anymore. It's me, my baby. My mom was going back to school. She's a teacher. So it's me and me alone. My health, that time when I have to leave. Yeah. It was, let me tell you, everything was just happening so fast, and it's me as a first-time parent. I cried.
And then you're the only child, so you don't have that experience, bringing up any other child.
We have no experience at all. And the coincidence is my significant other is also the only child. So you see, we are just stuck alone in that house. We don't know what to do. But thank goodness, during pregnancy, I used to, of course, Google and all that. But I had to pull myself together. Me, as women, we pull ourselves together so fast.
How are two women?
We pull out. But if you ask people, they know how I pull myself. Because I had to bathe that baby. I had to clean that umbilical cord.
All by yourself?
All by myself. And the one thing that I never shared about with the baby. I used to wake up every night, namchukua, namnyonyesha. Because I nilikuwa najua by the way it would pay eventually, but I used to tire that. Actually, he used to ananiletea, namnyonyesha, narudisha, and hata kama ni 20 times I would do that. So I think that, and then of course lack of sleep. Lack of sleep is,
yes.
And then you get the migraine. Especially when you're a CS person, you get them. Because I didn't know that because of the tummy was overlapping the CS food there. Haiko inapona vizuri. So you ikakuwa septic and you don't know what to do. And then you get the cold shivers at night. Well, that was the most, I think, traumatic experience I experienced. Then I had to go back to the doctor. I can even for this thing to heal, you have to pull your stomach up and tight. No, I'm tight because this place needs to breathe. So actually, alinisaidia sana, nikaanza kufunga throughout, and my stomach after like a couple of months ikarudi back. Ika snap back. Hiyo ilinisaidia kufunga. So it was,
Okay. Eva?
For me, I have to give a shout out to my family. I didn't actually feel alone at all, but it forced me to grow up. For all those years, I was the baby. I'm the last born, I'm the only girl. I was a proper baby. Everyone even knew, like, the baby is having a baby. So it forced me to grow up, and I grew up. I became very responsible. I didn't have worries in the world. As long as I'm doing my schoolwork, I'm fine. So I grew up it really helped me shape up and figure things out. I took a break from youth. I came back to it later. So I took a break from youth. I became responsible. We were so tight, me and my son, and my family has been there with me. My mom has practically held my hand from then till date, so I've never felt alone. So, but the growing up, that was a shock for me. Let me say that I wasn't ready. I had a few more.
What changes did you have to make to adjust to or to fit into the new role as a mom?
First, I was the only mom within all my friends, my cousins. I was the only mom at that point. So there was a lot of things I did not have someone to share with, but they were always there to vent. I could vent and vent and vent. And most of them have experience just from how much I vented that time. So other than, it got a bit lonely, and then after a few months, I think after 4 months, I had to go back to school because I was very determined to finish school when I was supposed to finish school. So I was alone with my toy for like 2 months as I finished school and all that stuff. That was a bit also tough, but I was so confident. Normally, what's my business? I'm very confident about it. Like as long as I'm not stolen from you and I'm not stepping on you, I don't see where you should come in, poke your nose in my business. So I don't know what people used to say or think. I was very happy, confident. I'd take my son everywhere around campus, just over there, and then those matrons are like, I told you.
Cheka
This would happen. So I had to finish school. After that, it's got because I was so young. I didn't have much more to think about other than my son, and I had the support of my mom. So other than the emotional stuff, I did pretty well. Like the tough years for me came a bit later, not during the initial.
Okay, we'll get back to that. Aisha, over to you. How was it?
I cried for 1 month, and then I realized, after the baby, I cried. The baby is crying, I'm crying. The baby wakes up, baby, I'm crying. I cried for 1 month, nikaangalia mtoto kasema hii ni ujinga. Hii ni ujinga because it's such a small child.
Yeah.
And now it's time to do life. Now both of us have to grow up, literally. So I became so tough after 1 month. You couldn't tell me anything. I was also like I like when you're explaining your story because that is me as well.
You can relate.
Yeah. I also have to be very confident, be in my business. I don't care what people are saying. Call my friends, we go for lunch, to go up to a restaurant, I'm there with my baby, and it's a girl's out. So like I've always had that child with me all through, man, all through. And the people who know me now in my profession, they know him automatically. Like, only mtoto alikuwa anakuja na audition. I'm like, can you imagine saying from Baba's? Like, wow. Yeah, now I just realized it's just us now. Because we just have to do life together. I have to grow up. He also has to know that he's now outside. This is the world. So we just have to do life.
What would you say was the most difficult thing during, those the formative years? Okay, Kabla, now you say, okay, I have at least mastered this parenting thing.
Come again?
What would you say was the most difficult or challenging thing as a parent in your early years?
Trying to keep my dreams alive and chasing my dreams and building his dreams.
Now, we're going to be talking about career in a while because, sometimes when a woman gets pregnant, gets a baby, so your career, you put it on the side. But Eva, you mentioned something about ulikuwa vet sana. What was making you to feel maybe stressed up a little bit? What were some of the challenges?
Career-wise, again, I was very lucky. I was young. I was in school. I didn't have a career to worry about. So after that, the only thing I juggled for a while was external attachment. And say, I'm so sorry to that Catherine. I did not give you my best. I was a new mom. Because it was a few, like I think before he got to a year. Because I remember when he was turning 2, I was graduating. So for those 2 years, I didn't have work to worry about. After that, the older he gets, the easier it is to focus into a career. Of course, I stayed, I think, a few years in and out of jobs. That was what was most stressful for me. I was not financially stable. I was still dependent. So you're looking for schools. You have to sit and decide. I'm looking for this school, and this is what the school fees is, and this is what I can afford. So please talk me up. So that was a challenge, and that has always been. Since then, I've been very motivated to make sure at least it doesn't lack a lot. So I was very financially stressed, but I should have taken it easy because it works out.
It works out to the end.
Yeah.
Life goes on.
But then life goes on. And it works out eventually.
It does. Oh goodness.
Yeah.
It's just doors that open up that you had no idea. It's just phone calls left, right, and center. It's just jobs trickling in. Usually, it's just God.
Sani yake.
Sani yake. Kwa hivyo ni ukweli. It's true.
It's true.
Sahani ni ukweli.
Because I remember someone told me, because everybody keeps asking these questions. How is bringing up a child, a small child? And the funny thing is that God gives you grace for every step. Like,
He does.
He gives you grace.
Oh, He does.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think, even Google will not even help you. It upside some hard, but God gives you grace. As a man, God gives you grace.
He does.
Yeah.
So I'm about to ask a rather uncomfortable question here because in everything we do in life, let's take for example your job. Unaweza kuwa you feeling you love your job like so much, but there are days you feel like I don't want to go to work, and you can call in, you say I'm sick, or I have an emergency. You're just not feeling like going to work on that particular day. Unfortunately, being a mother is a full-time job. Other times you feel that, or a moment you felt that, I wish I could take a break just for one day or X number of time as a mother. Not because you don't love your child, but because it can be overwhelming.
Personally, no, because I'll say the first year, it was a lot. Transitioning, changing, trying to adopt, trying to see what is going to work for you and your child. That was a lot for me. But then, have you met my son?
Not exactly, not
But you know
physically, but
him.
I know him.
He's very responsible. He's like a mini adult by himself. He's very independent. So one thing, you see, like how you're so intentional and practical with your child, you even created a sleeping routine from day one.
Yeah.
Like how lovely na maybe by the way. You're not about to get me tired.
Yeah.
That is what it was intentional parenting. It still is with my son. So he's very independent. Because unajua ni vile grace. We talk about God's grace. I didn't know what was ahead. I didn't know where, shout out to 10 years in the hood, in this motherhood, the best hood by the way to live in. You don't know, but you're just trusting your instincts and doing things. So I've always taught him, according to the age, according to the stage, I always teach him things that he needs to know, so that when I'm not there, he can do those things. And it gets to a point where you start employing nannies. So unajua when a nanny tells you mtoto amefanya hivi, unajua hapana, mtoto hajafanya hivi, because this child behaves like this. So that was also one of the things. So the minute Lamar started speaking, I was like, yo, there's no crying, we've cried a lot in our lives. It's time to use your words, and it's time you're going to communicate.
Wow.
So that, yes, from the big, akianza tu kuongea. Yo, I was like, please use your words. What we're doing, we're going to use our words. We're no longer crying in this house. Tumelia, iyo imetosha sasa. And that's why he's very outspoken. He'll tell you what's on his mind, and our communication and relationship is amazing.
Wow.
Okay.
Wafundishe. Bora mtu anaweza kuongea. Ongea. Yeah,
Takuja classes when the time comes.
Oh my God.
Tash, for you, have you ever felt that, I need a break? Not because you don't love your children, but because you need one.
as in, raising the 2 kids, because I programmed them from day one. So it has never been very overwhelming for me. I think with my first child, what was overwhelming was my emotional part, and also the career. That job, that I had a very good employer, because my daughter used to be very sickly, and hospitalized. I have to say that, but I won't show up to Jobo. I think I gave excuses over and over. But I think she was very, very understanding, because she was a mother also. So for me, because when they program you to a certain, I know wakiamka, they wake up at 9, most of them, or 9 to 10, they wake up. So that time I have time to relax and have a good time, and then they will eat, and then we'll go out. There's a program, we go out, like Jua will change, we play, they take water, they sleep. When they sleep, they wake up at 1. So you see, I have
Get time to rest as well.
So it's not overwhelming for me, because they are on a schedule, like throughout on a schedule. That's the only thing I know in my hack. Kidogo na motherhood, the rest
But then having a program for your child, it really saves you a lot as a man. It saves you. Train them.
Even the nanny anajua mtoi anamka 9:30. This is second child, anajua mtoi anamka 9:30. So by 9:30 you're done even unapikia lunch. And then she'll sleep again until 11. So by that time, umempeleka nje utajua you have. And then from 11 to around 12:31, so you've already done everything. And then she'll sleep from 2 to 4.
Wow.
So and then she will sleep 2 to 4 or 2 to 5. So you have done everything.
And you've also rested umelala pia yani.
But I teach them. But I tell me, and then of course the co-sleeping part, I do not co-sleep. I'd rather sit and look come out.
Kuchungulia. Hey, I do it.
But no co-sleeping.
No co-sleeping. You sleep on your own, like
from day one.
From day one, come at this second child, I put you in bed, find your own sleep. Find your own sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eva,
Yes.
have you ever felt like you need a break from this thing called motherhood?
Motherhood, no. Like even if I say this is my day off, I won't do anything, I'll find myself, has he been taken to the bus? I often follow, nione amepanda bus but sometimes when life gets overwhelming, I want to take a break from like I just want to pause it, guys. I'll be back on Wednesday. But motherhood in itself, no, because again I know it's really gotten into me, especially I think over the last year or two, that I am all he has. Like, of course, there's the rest of the family, but I am all he has. So I have to take care of myself to make sure he's there. So I care for him just because it's my obligation, and he won't get that motherhood from anyone else. So it's just a labor of love, and we're almost done. He's also independent. So he'll be just somewhere in the house. When he cries, when he has sound, you know something's wrong. Otherwise, you're not worried that he's going to harm himself. So
Good to sound.
Life is what gets hard.
Babies, awesome babies. Nafili kama right now you're about to dish life hacks and motherhood hacks. But let's talk about careers, because many women feel that sometimes when you get a baby, it's like you put your career on the side, take care of the babies, and then later, come back to your career. How was it like for you? Did you have a break, a long break, or ilikuwa 3 months and then back to Jobo? Aisha?
Okay, so when my son turned 1,
And especially the fact that you're in the entertainment industry, it can be tricky.
and he's there as well. When my son turned 1, so me natoka Mombasa. Kwa hivyo my mom is in Mombasa. That's where we've been. So through pregnancy and through delivery. So when he turned 1, when you spoke about finances, that's normally what goes through your mind. In as much as you're young, but then reality kicks in, because your family is not. We are grateful. We have supportive systems, but just like in the finance, it becomes a little bit straining. And now reality checks in, like, okay, umtoto ni wako, you're also now a parent. Now you are automatically a provider. So what are you going to do? So I nikahama. I took him from tukatoka Mombasa, tukakuja Nairobi, like, yo, it's now time to hustle.
Wow.
Hey, bro, yo, like, I didn't know what we were going to do. You talk to Nairobi, talk to Nairobi, like, and you talk to Nairobi because that's what I started for. I've done media. HQs don't say media houses for Nairobi. Kwa hivyo Mombasa, I won't just sit down and wait to get employment. And you know, industry, you really have to hustle, man. That's when nakwambia mtu ambaye anaona my son right now and they know me and they see what I'm doing. Like they know, yeah. Like, huyu ndio yule ambaye nilikuwa nakuja naye audition. So from like I couldn't, I can't. Even until now, that is something. Like I still will chase my dreams and pursue my career. That is one thing I knew siwezi kuweka chini. That's why, like, hata na huyo mtoto, hata hizo auditions tunaenda. And please, don't look at moms. Like, you see how you had to keep on borrowing permission from work? Even for me, I had to go to auditions with my child. Don't look at moms as that particular moment when you're trying to figure things out, as we're very unprofessional, we're just giving excuses. Hatuna watu wa kutusaidia. Personally, for me to go to auditions, I could not afford a nanny. And I can't leave the child at home. I had to literally carry that child to each and every audition I'm going to. But alhamdulillah, because from that, he got used to, like, you were too, whenever we're going with ma'am, there are cameras like this, she'll stand, she'll say her name, like, you know how auditions are. Yeah. Alright, so introduce yourself, tell us who you are, how old you are. Evo Sasa, yeah? So he got used to that. So from TV auditions to radio auditions, so kama radio sasa amezoea mics. So he got used to that world from a young age. So please, for moms who are trying to like get their feet on the ground, don't look at it as excuses. In fact, what get wasaidieni sana. Mambo ni mengi sana.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Do you feel that the work industry in itself sometimes it's to a disadvantage to the woman?
Yeah, I think so. I'm sure, like, if you check the stats, when COVID came, almost everyone was laid off.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you check the stats of the guys, because not the offices have been opening up, taking a few people at a time. If you look at the few people who've been taken in, it will be very possible that new moms are not on that list. You know, the COVID moms, probably, they didn't get called back. Because I know you will come and start asking for maternity leave.
So, you know, your baby needs this and that time off when they're sick is on.
Yeah. So, especially at the hiring process, I know it is very critical. Sometimes when you get in, you can wiggle your way out. But getting in, like as a new mom or you're pregnant, it's hard in the corporate world.
Actually, me, I have a very different experience with the work environment, because of course I got my first child in a company, and actually it was after 4. Okay, I knew I was pregnant when they were hiring me. I didn't mention, but after like 4 months in a jacket, and I'm like, show it. I was like, I had to tell my boss, like, you know what, I am pregnant. Yeah. Actually, I remember I went like, I know you're gonna lay me off, but I just want to tell you that I am pregnant. I was like, oh, okay, so how long? I was like, 4 months. Okay, all right. Yeah, Mama, you look even nice for 4 months. Wow. And that was the conversation. And of course, in terms of career now, when you know you're going to be a mom, there's no pity. You know, when you're young, you're like, me, I'm off. Come casual, you know, because there's no resignation. At this time, you cannot. You have to. Familiar. And then, of course, when you talk about your job, I went to another, where, of course, in my car for the longest time. And during I got pregnant, even my boss used to tell me, no, I don't want to overwork you. Wow. You know, I don't. And actually, he was an Indian. You know, like I don't want to overwork you. Like throughout, because also he's a father, so he knows the experience. And when I went to maternity leave, I had like 4. Like I stayed 4 months. It was December, and the job May.
Wow.
You see, I had time. Yeah. So let me say I had a very good employer, of course. And the fact that I had to keep saying, I had to take my daughter for jam. Actually, what he did for me, I think he's teaching me how to reorganize my schedule so that I don't take so many leave days. Like, you know, like a boss telling you know what, you're gonna hurt your leave days. You you need to organize yourself, time ya kupeleka mtoto for a job. Like you see, like we had that conversation and I felt like he was very he was very supportive on that, and throughout he's just supportive with women with kids. So I think I have a very different experience. Yeah.
Okay, wow. This is a fantastic conversation and we'd also love to hear from you. Ni conversations gani ungetaka tuzungumzia hapa on the spot? Remember, we talk about open and honest conversation about life and everything in between. Bado tuko na pending question kwako. We haven't forgotten. How can we forget?
No, I have.
But even as you're thinking about that,
no, let me say. Let me throw this back to you. You see, this is just a general question. It's not about motherhood. So answer this for your audience. Answer this for your audience. You answer.
All right, I'll get to answer it, but I have one final question for you guys before we wrap things up. So, what advice would you give young mothers out there, or a mother hack that, you know what, this works? And I'm sure as you're thinking about that, Tash, you can also talk to us about new moms. Most of the time when I'm complaining a lot of times that their baby is not sleeping, you know, they're tired. So when you're tired, the baby is not sleeping, is crying, you're angry, so unaweza reflect that anger to the baby and it's not healthy.
Wow. So I need to give advice. I cannot give advice. Don't take my words as the truth or the Bible. So I think one thing that I learned with my friends also, because my friends had kids before me, is that, okay, sleep when the baby sleeps. Which actually doesn't happen. Unapata tu now what's happening on socials. You know, you don't sleep when baby sleeps, but trust me, sleep when baby sleeps. Like, it does help, even it helps with healing your body, because you know your body is still healing and all that. So sleep when baby sleeps. And I think they cry a lot because one, they're hot. You know, always think as your child as you. If you're feeling hot, definitely the baby is feeling hot. And the Isaac he will definitely cry. And also the other thing is they're not getting enough of milk, and it comes with latching. You know, one thing I learned in the hospital, I was very lucky actually to be taken through bathing, latching and all that in the hospital before going out, because you find that baby is not getting enough milk, and the short her get enough meal because her latch vizuri. It's such a struggle to latch, such a struggle, but eventually it gets better with time. Even the baby gets used to the new environment and all that, because you know they were stuck inside that tummy. Ndio maana unaona sijui mfunganishi like wrap, sio tu muweke manguo, like wrap ndio sikie bado they're still in the tummy, not kumaanisha ngumu.
Okay.
Actually, about that, sleep when the baby sleeps, and at least the first 3 months, don't usikubali watu kuja kuone. Like, you know, there are people who can, and the baby is asleep, and that's the time you want to sleep as a mom. And like, ebo amsha mtoto, refuse. Refuse. Let those people come after when you've adjusted, your body has healed, you also know what is happening in your world, the child also knows what this environment is. If you can avoid visitors the first 3 months, do it. Be very selfish. Goodness, when you get a child, you really have to be selfish with your time. You really have to know, like, this cup, you cannot pour into everyone else's cup, because now you have a whole other little human that you have to pour into. You have to be extremely selfish. And in regards to advice to new moms, my son is now 10. The one thing that I always have to keep reminding myself is the reason why I have to keep going. Never lose that. You can easily forget, because they can do things by themselves. They're independent. They can go and fix themselves a hot plate and stuff. So you can really become reluctant, and you lose that feel to keep going and to pursue your dreams, and now to also nurture their talent and their dreams. So always never lose that. Always remember why you started, and to just keep going.
All right, Eva.
I think I just encourage young girls, don't be afraid. You're not alone. You're not the first one. And it's only a big deal for a short time before people move on to the next. Not be afraid. Yes, the challenges will come, but trust me, as in the day will rise and the sun will set. The sun will rise and it will still set. Every day, just show up. Like every day, just show up. Show up for your children. And everything will be fine.
And life goes on.
Sure, it does go.
I answer that.
Let me answer this. So my worst date is Tell us. My worst date is unaona venye guys complain when ati you invite the chick you like and then they show up as a groupie. So may I remember right after high school I went for this blind date. And I tagged along my friend because alikuwa kwa nyumba, so we were like, twende tu.
Yeah.
Then this guy comes with a whole 6 other guys.
What?
That was my worst date, yes.
Why six? Why would he come with six?
I have no idea, but yes, that was my worst.
So you got
Oh my, that's actually scary to think of it. Because if you
You
hadn't,
have been alone.
yo,
Because if I hadn't tagged my friend along, I'd been alone.
yeah, that is a
Stranger.
Even just imagine walking down just a road and it's like unapatana na 2 men.
Yeah.
Now imagine a date if you.
If you wanted
And for
to
that
go.
reason, I don't do blind dates. So after that, I retired from Tinder and every other app, dating app, Nini. One-on-ones work for me.
That is scary.
It's very scary.
That's not worse. That is scariest. Date.
But was
And on that scary note,
in the public?
yeah, it was in a public place.
God.
Yeah. And on that scary note, it's that time to kiss and say goodbye. A big thank you to Vera Beauty and Fashion College, and also a big thank you to Kamunge Originals for this amazing set and the entire crew. From Duncan to Ian to Dennis to Hannah. It's a big thank you guys. See you on the next episode. And kumbuka to subscribe, leave a comment, and appear. Follow us on social media. Follow me on social media at STLyamumo at
Aisha Wanjiku _
At Tash Kadoka.
Write me a letter.
super amazing conversation. Thank you guys for being here today.
And thank you. We had a good time.
You had a good time.
Yeah, we had a good time. Very good time actually.
You want to come back again?
Yeah.
Allah. Aya. So tutakuwa na part 3 of this maybe in the near future. You never know.
Unless you're having another baby.
Yeah.
Okay, Tash. You're coming to talk about the same.
She will
Oh yeah, she was okay.
She's definitely having a
Congratulations in advance.
But
And still.
oh yes, and we'll come back when
You have
get
a baby.
probably in the year.
We'll come back as rich aunties.
Yeah, definitely.
We're already rich.
And like, no, I don't
Come back as rich aunties.
All right, bye. It's a wrap for now. It's time to kiss and say goodbye. Bye.